From the 10th Avenue Extension Greater Estate, this is MBN TV, and the mega news are 6. First, the headlines. Unity must be our strategy, not just our slogan, Mahama on Africans' growth. NDC likely to retain Ayawaso East seat, Global Info Analytics. Chinese removes 3 defense-linked lawmakers. My name is El Samuels. The news is also live on all our social media handles on MBN 360, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Now the details of the stories. A new poll conducted by the Global Info Analytics suggests that the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, is on course to retain the Ayawaso East parliamentary seat in the upcoming March 2026 by-election. Addressing the Zambian parliament on Thursday, February 5th, the President Mahama highlighted the importance of regional cooperation and coordinated action to accelerate economic growth across the continent. He called for the establishment of regional prosperity platforms, including shared manufacturing zones, integrated energy grids, and digital infrastructure as essential tools for sustainable development. We must negotiate with one voice on minerals, trade, and climate finance. Unity must be our strategy, not just our slogan, he said. As the African Union champion of African financial institution, the President Mahama urged the reparation and investment of a portion of African foreign reserves currently held in Western financial institutions. Most of these foreign reserves by colonial construct generate little or no interest. If 30% were repatriated and invested in our own financial institution, it will create an immense pool of wealth to drive rapid infrastructure expansion and economic growth, he added. Now, away from the visit of the president to the Zambia, we look at Ayawaso East by-election that is slated, where the Info Analytics provides that NDC would definitely win that seat. The poll indicates that either of the 2 leading contenders in the NDC primaries would comfortably defeat the New Patriotic Party, the NPP candidate, in a head-to-head contest. According to the survey, Hajia Amina Adams leads the NPP's Baba Ali with 73% of vote support. In a separate match-up, Baba Jamal also secured a clear advantage, polling 67% against Baba Ali's 33%. The findings were disclosed by the Executive Director of Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa, in a Facebook post on Thursday, February 5th. Meanwhile, the poll also shows that Hajia Amina Adams is the preferred choice among members of the NDC Ayawaso East parliamentary primaries ahead of the elections. The survey indicates that 50% of respondents support Hajia Amina Adams, while Baba Jamal follows with 32%. The remaining aspirant, Muhammadu Ramin, Dr. Yakubu Zindo, Najib Mohammed Sani polled 5%, 3%, and 2% respectively. The Ghana Police Service has arrested 3 suspects in connection with a robbery at Kwabenya in the Greater Accra region. The arrests were carried out by Surveillance Unit of the National Operations Directorate (NOD) following investigations into the incident, which occurred on January 18, 2026. In a Facebook post on Thursday, February 5th, the police confirmed that 2 armed men attacked a resident at Kwabenya and made away with 2 iPhone 17 Pro Max mobile phones, a gold necklace, an Apple Watch, a 14,000 Ghana citizen cash, a car key, and $3,000. The robbers also compelled the victims to log out of the iCloud account from one of the stolen phones before fleeing. After weeks of intelligence-led operation, police arrested 3 suspects: Francis Amu alias Agogo, Anthony Boateng alias Aisha Kojo, and Musa Ibrahim alias coded. Ibrahim is believed to have acted as a receiver of the stolen items, and according to the police, the suspects have admitted their involvement in the crime. A search conducted at the residence of suspect Anthony Boateng led to the recovery of one iPhone 17 Pro Max, an Apple Watch, and a Samsung Fold phone. Officers also retrieved offensive weapons, including a short machete, knives, scissors, lights, and a face shield. The suspects are currently in police custody assisting with investigation, while efforts are ongoing to retrieve the remaining stolen items and to arrest any other persons connected to the robbery. Now we move straight to the business desk, where the Ghana Cocoa Board says he has started making payment to license buying companies to enable them pay cocoa farmers for their produce. This comes after concerns were raised about cocoa farmers going unpaid for several months. Isaac Yao Opoku, a ranking member of Parliament on Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs Committee, speaking on behalf of the minority in Parliament at the presser in Accra on Thursday, February 5th, warned that delays in payment to farmers were creating hardship, threatening the cocoa industry. He noted that Cocoa Board owns ILBS more than 10 billion Ghana cedis for cocoa that has already been purchased, leaving the companies financially constrained. Responding to this in an interview on City Eyewitness, Jerome Kweku Sam, head of the corporate communications at the Cocoa Board, explains that delays in assessing syndicated fund forced the board to rely on international buyers to finance cocoa purchases. This arrangement, he said, came with the conditions that requires the LBCs to pay for cocoa, with Cocoa Board reimbursing them later. In fact, in November, we made over 6 billion Ghana cedis. In December, we made over 5 billion Ghana cedis. And even in January, we made 6 billion Ghana cedis. This month alone, we have paid over 620 million, Mr. Sam Feder stated. We are indeed paying monies to them, LBS, for them to also pay the farmers whatever amount that is outstanding. He added that the board is working on a new financing model under the current administration to ensure that the sector is better funded and the delays like those experienced do not occur. Mr. Sam stressed that the delayed payment were not the result of Cocoa Board failing in its duty, but were caused by a combination of funding challenges, changes in financing arrangement, and the need to develop a more sustainable system. Cocoa Board says it remained committed to ensuring that farmers receive their payment promptly and that the cocoa sector operates efficiently for all stakeholders. Now, on the international front, 3 Chinese lawmakers with ties to the defense sector have been removed from their position, state media said, in the wake of an investigation of the nation's top generals, just as Beijing tries to modernize its military. The announcement made on the evening on Wednesday, February 4th by the Xinhua News Agency did not give reasons for the dismissal or said the lawmakers who are from the defense, aerospace, and nuclear industry were under investigation. President Xi Jinping's years-long corruption purge, the Defense Ministry said on January 24th it was investigating the General Yuxian, second only to Zheng in China's military leadership, of a suspected serious violation of discipline and law. The probe, Zheng seen on top Zheng ally, meant the U.S. lost a respected, well-known contact within the Chinese military, as successful U.S. administration have worked to build senior-level ties to avoid mishap between the world's 2 most powerful militaries. The sacked lawmakers are Zhong Engmin, the former head of state-owned conglomerate Aviation Industry Corporation of China, which produces most of China's military aircraft and drones, long-time nuclear weapons researcher Leon Changli, and also Le Qi, chief engineer of the state-owned nuclear power giant China National Nuclear Corporation. The principal government responsible for lawmakers' dismissal did not immediately respond to the fax request for the comment. The dismissal missile were announced a month before Chinese legislature, the National People's Congress, converged for its yearly meeting, marking the start of a 5-year planning cycle for the ruling Communist Party. Jinping wants China, the world's biggest military spender, after the United States, to achieve what he calls a full military modernization by 2035, although the U.S. Pentagon has said that corruption in the military ranks could be impeding progress towards that goal. Zhuan was named the AVIC chairman in March 2024, but his name is no longer on the company's website. The day before his removal, AVIC held a meeting on anti-corruption, the company said on the social media. Zhuan is also a former top executive at Shanghai-based plane maker Comac. Further, AVIC held a Tang Rixon was expelled from the party for corruption in February 2025. Liu ran the China Academy of Engineering Physics from 2015 to 2024 and had a long conducted nuclear weapon research, according to his biography on the website of the Chinese Society of Theological and Applied Mechanics. Yeah, before we wrap up, we move straight away to the Weather Center. I'll bring you the weather and its updates. Stay with us. Now, the weather in this update brought to you in association with the Ghana Meteorological Agency, the 24-hour impactful weather. Going for the next 24 hours, we're going to see the weather having different variations, and that's mixed fog and other areas that we need to look at this morning. And we turn our attention where early this morning, mist of fog patches will affect parts of the coast, forest, and hilly areas, but potentially reducing visibility in these areas. Thereafter, sunny conditions will prevail across the country with a higher intensity expected over the northern sector. However, localized thunderstorms or rains are likely to affect a few places along the coastline, the immediate inland areas of the coast, the middle sector from the late afternoon into the evening hours. Dry and hazy conditions will dominate the northern and parts of the transition sectors throughout the forecast period. Visibility across the country will range between 500 meters and 8,000 meters. Now, the temperature table: coast 24 minimum, maximum 34, forest 22 minimum, maximum 36, transition 21 minimum, maximum 37, northern a minimum of 21 degrees, a maximum of 40 degrees. Relatively cool night and early morning temperatures are expected over the northern sector. And that does it for this morning's weather update, brought to you by MBN Weather Center in association with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. The news continues, but before we take leave of you, a recap of the headlines. Unity must be our strategy, not just our slogan. Mahama on Africans' growth. NDC likely to retain Ayawaso East seat, Global Info Analytics. Chinese removes 3 defense-linked lawmakers. For more news, log on to MBN 360. My name is El Samuels. Up next is a sports update. Don't go away. Stay with us.